So my name is Riley. I'm the head of marketing at Rewind, and I'm really happy to be joined by Casey from ShipStation. So hi, Casey. Thanks for joining us.
Great. Yes. Thank you for having me.
I've been working at Rewind for a while now, and I've had the pleasure of speaking to a lot of e-commerce entrepreneurs. And a few months ago, I interviewed 6 in particular who are serial e-commerce entrepreneurs. I kind of, these are people who've been in the e-commerce game for years, and they've made not only one, but several e-commerce brands profitable. And so I wanted to ask them, how did you do it? And unanimously across the board, they all said that firstly, they delegate things that they're not good at. So for Nicole, for instance, that was customer support. And the other key to their success is automating that really tedious stuff, the things they have to do day in and day out, that they knew just someone else could, or a tool or someone else could do it better than them. So the first kind of thing that we recommend that you automate in your business is how you back up your data, and in particular, how you back up your online store. So for those of you who are not familiar with Rewind, we are the most trusted backup app for Shopify and BigCommerce. And as a lot of our customers will say, we help them sleep better at night. So the first kind of myth or problem that I want to address, and the one that we hear most often, is I thought Shopify or BigCommerce was in the cloud. Like, isn't it already backed up? The big kind of myth here around this is that what Shopify and BigCommerce provides is a disaster recovery backup. And this is a backup of all the hundreds of thousands of stores in their platform. And this backup is used in case something like a meteorite hits their servers and takes down thousands of accounts. It's not intended to be used for one-on-one cases. So if you can see here where it says, when you try to go and delete, let's say 50 products, it'll tell you these products cannot be recovered. Do you still want to continue? Once you hit delete, those are gone forever. As a result, you have so many questions in forums and online blogs where people are asking, how do I recover my blogs or my pages? I accidentally deleted these images. You're kind of just left on your own. So, it's a matter of taking control over your own data and your own backups and not relying on something happening and you not being able to recover from that. So at this point, we've helped thousands of e-commerce entrepreneurs. And so I think we've pretty much heard all the possible cases where data gets lost. The first most common one is you're editing or you're modifying your theme code. So of course, you're entrepreneurs, you like to get your hands dirty, or you're often working by yourself. And really a single line of code could break your entire site. The second most common thing we hear is third-party apps going in and making changes to your store. So when you install an app, you are giving it permission to edit or modify data in your store. And that also means that they could make unwanted changes. Another one that we hear, which is not fun to think about, but when you're hiring employees or freelancers and Shopify experts, you are exposing your business to risk. And we have heard of some clients where a ex-employee went in and deleted things, just to get back at the business. So unfortunately, that is kind of a real risk. And finally, we all make mistakes, and a simple mistake shouldn't cost your business hundreds of dollars or weeks in trying to fix that problem. These are basically your 2 options of how to back up your e-commerce store. I am using Shopify as the example, but BigCommerce is very similar. With Shopify, you can go into their help forum and look at backups and duplication, and you'll see a 20-step process on how you can achieve this. It requires exporting CSV files, saving blogs to Word documents, and it requires a lot of technical know-how to then take those files and restore them into your account. Not to mention that this is something that you can't just do once and for all. You have to be updating your backups as often as you update your store. So the alternative, and of course we recommend that you automate something like this, is Rewind. You install it into your store, and within a few minutes, your first backup is complete. And from there, every night at midnight, new changes to your store get updated as well. So it's kind of like a set it and forget it solution, which I'm sure a lot of you love to hear. And one of the questions we received is, can I rewind just part of my store, or is it the entire store? And yes, it's very, very flexible. You can choose to rewind your images, your blogs, a single product, to a different version in the past, or if something goes completely wrong in your store, you can rewind everything back to a specific date and time. So very flexible solution. Now just quickly wrap up with this quote that we get from actually many customers, and they compare Rewind to insurance for their online store. If you have a brick and mortar business, you're obviously going to insure that since that's an asset. And likewise, your online store is an asset for your business and something that should be protected. So this is where you can find us. We're in the Shopify, BigCommerce, and QuickBooks App Store. And I'll be looking in to see if there's any questions that you had for us about Rewind. But until then, I'm happy to pass it on to Casey.
All right. And so my name is Casey with ShipStation. From here, we're going to get into a bit of what ShipStation has to offer and how it's going to affect your e-commerce with, what you'd potentially set up with Rewind. Our mission is that, wherever you sell and however you ship, we want you to ship exceptionally efficient. And our goal is to bring efficiency to all, regardless of, what level of e-commerce you may be in, whether you're just starting up or you're all the way, you've got a few enterprise level selling channels on Shopify and BigCommerce. And a few things that we can help you do is really take out a lot of that legwork you would be doing in your shipping process. We'll help you optimize your shipping process, build your brand, as well as eliminate human error, because there's a few ways we can bring accountability to your fulfillment team in ShipStation. And so one of the common questions that we got, and this is one that was actually provided before the webinar, is if we could take through the chain from purchase until goods are reaching the customer and what role you as the merchant would play in that process. And in ShipStation, we have a nice cohesive way to kind of explain that ecosystem where you have your Shopify or BigCommerce, that's your order source, and that would be connected to ShipStation. And you as the merchant, we just wait for those orders to come through. And once they do, we can then begin to fulfill them. We'll manage those orders, print the shipping labels from within ShipStation, right wherever your office or warehouse may be. And then, of course, the thing that's going to actually expedite that for you is the automation to the actual shipping preferences, updating your selling channels, and getting your customers branded tracking emails and a brand customer experience. And so as you see here, we do support multiple selling channels, and definitely Shopify, BigCommerce, and Amazon are some of the few most popular that are make up a huge part of our user base. That's not to say that we have to have a selling channel to make use of ShipStation. We can do imports via Excel files, as well as you can just create one-off orders on the fly if you're doing some personal shipping. The nice thing with that is purely the flexibility, right? ShipStation can be something that is not only tied to your e-commerce business, but a way that you can make shipping easier throughout different aspects of your life. And of course, we support a lot of the major carriers from around the world, and we're always adding more. We got Royal Mail for UK users, Canada Post for Canada, of course. And then in ShipStation, we can have multiple carrier accounts connected and compare those rates between the carriers in real time, as well as a very powerful feature ShipStation has is our batch printing, where you can do up to 500 labels in one order. So, those labels will be printed in a matter of a few seconds, whereas doing them one by one might take you and maybe a team of warehouse workers a good majority of the day. So we'll be saving you time there, and you'll have extra time to do anything else. Either the shipping manager or you as the owner of the company might be needing extra time for. Of course, we do support dropshippers and 3PLs as well. We have a few recent partnerships with some 3PLs. So as those funnel through, we are getting more and more support for those drop shipping workflows. And efficiency, obviously that's the best thing for everybody, efficiency and automation. So we do offer a few things to help aid that in how we're getting different orders from various different sections, and also different integrations that don't necessarily deal with shipping. As you see, we support MailChimp and SKU Vault, which is warehouse management, and they offer a wide depth of features, but we do help you create a cohesive ecosystem, different tools for e-commerce that can make your whole life easier with connecting, QuickBooks, your Rewind, maybe your Shopify to ShipStation, and then maybe something like MailChimp that can help you boost your marketing to those customers after they've purchased from you. We also give real-time reporting and make international shipping easier, in that we can actually have your customs information automatically be filled in either at an overall basis or at a product level, where each product can have pre-populated customs info associated with it. Another big thing is ShipStation's API. So we have all of our integrations via API, And the nice thing with that is it does allow third parties to build integrations to us. So there, our ecosystem of partners and integrations is always growing. And like I mentioned, there's not only tied to, order source or warehouse management. Some stand to payment processors and fulfillment centers. And then some are omni-channels, like you see we have an integration with Channel Advisor. And some of the features and benefits you get with ShipStation is, increasing the efficiency of your overall workflow. And of course, improving accuracy, making sure that the customer's items get in the proper box and go to the proper address the first time, just to create a more cohesive and seamless customer experience, all the while making the logistics easier on you and that you never have to deal with like a return to sender or an issue on a shipment. As well as we do also allow you to use quick ship and barcode actions. So, ShipStation is built in such a way that we can support almost any workflow. If you want to do exclusively barcoding, or if you've got, a picker and packer and a warehouse team, we can adapt that workflow to ShipStation. And of course, you can request pickups from within our system and print scan forms. So that's just going to make the pickup process easier, not only on you, but the carrier, and really get them out of your hair at that point once they've got your packages. And another nice thing ShipStation offers is our branded experience that we can help you create. So this is highlighting our branded tracking page. And the nice thing with this is that it helps you create a more no, I would rather say it gives more continuity to your brand, and that everything your customer is going to be getting comes from you and your company, and also looks like it was made by your company. And the cool thing with this is you can actually add click-through for all of your different resources. You'll see there in the top right, we've got links to social media and websites. And the plus to that is, instead of driving ad revenue and click-through to carrier pages for your customer to see their tracking info, you can give your customer their tracking info and drive all that potential click-through to your resources you choose to link on this page. This is also tied to ShipStation being able to automatically send out a branded tracking email. So they'd get a fully branded experience once they get confirmation that their order has been sent and actually viewing their tracking information. And we also offer some branding on the side of returns. So we also allow you to create a branded returns portal. As we know, returns can somewhat be a pain for almost everyone, depending on what your product set is. So, we have a way you can customize that experience, and you can also make the branded returns portal to where your customer is clicking that link and submitting a return to you that you can then approve or, manage at, however your products need to be dealt with. And of course, we understand that that can vary greatly depending on what your product or niche is. Also, we do give you RMA generation. So just giving you further accountability and, making sure that we can keep track of what's going in and out and even coming back to us. And then the nice thing there is if a customer wants a return, we can actually email them a prepaid return shipping label that they can then, print out, get the box back to you as an outbound package. And so here's another common question that we get is how can I automate shipping methods with flexibility? So the nice thing with ShipStation is we've built out automations to be more of an if-then format, in that we say if an order contains criteria A, B, and C, then allow actions, X, Y, and Z to follow. And the way you can use that to be flexible with shipping methods is, an example I give is, we can set a rule that says if an order weight comes through and is equal or less than 15 ounces, default to USPS first class, because that would be our cutoff weight. And then, the way we can add flexibility to that is by making another rule that would say if an order's total weight is equal to or less than 15 ounces and the order is going anywhere but the US, maybe at that point we want to default to USPS Priority Mail International, because it would be an international shipment. And you get to create unlimited automation rules. So the customization there is endless, and we can actually adapt many different shipping scenarios to different automation rules. So eventually we'd get it to where no matter what order you could have come to ShipStation, we'll have a rule to cover it, and that rule will automatically fill in all your shipping preferences. And more on the side of automation there, you have sort of a hierarchy of automation in ShipStation. And of course, as we move up in that hierarchy, certain higher automations can trump lower automation rules. The first of which being service mappings, which is another nice feature in that, say you offer something like flat rate shipping or even free shipping, we'll actually see that when the order comes to ShipStation. It would show that your customer requested that free shipping or flat rate shipping or whatever your offerings are to your customers in your shopping cart. And then what we can do from that is tell ShipStation every time that service is requested, maybe we want to default to FedEx Ground or maybe priority mail, whatever your preferred shipping method and carrier is. As well as there's vast customization in the actual user interface where you can fully customize the columns, views, and even create your own custom filters, depending again on what your workflow is and how you desire to fulfill your shipments. And lastly here, we have another very frequent question where, how do I take that next step and evolve from doing manual fulfillment to a more sophisticated solution and grow my business on a budget? Now, ShipStation is a great place to get started with that in that, if you're doing manual fulfillment, let's say you're going to trade shows, taking orders in person, you can compile those into an Excel sheet and directly import that into ShipStation and then get that full ShipStation experience as if you had something like a Shopify or a BigCommerce. And then on that same note that you do have a Shopify or BigCommerce, but you're doing a lot more manual work, maybe we're copy and pasting addresses into a carrier page to get our shipping rates. With ShipStation and Shopify, when an order comes through, or even BigCommerce for that matter, they send us absolutely everything on the order and we display it. So, from addresses to notes to requested service and even image URLs and product info. And we have a plan that can fit almost any shipment volume user, so any level of e-commerce, as well as they're very cost effective in their different ranges. That makes it so that we can actually be used by everyone. Like I said, no matter what level we're on in our shipping, our product set as a whole is across every one of these plans that you see here. And what we'll notice is that our differentiator is mainly the number of shipments you're looking to fulfill that month. And like I said, everything we've gone through, the automations, the branding experience we can help you create, as well as all that automation to your shipping preferences and making things that much easier for you, is on every plan. And you can, of course, upgrade and downgrade as you need to, because we do understand that there's somewhat seasons to e-commerce where we see huge upticks in business and then we see some valleys every now and then. So we give you the power to manage that from within your ShipStation account. And now we are going to move on to the question and answer section. Please, enter some questions you may have into the chat, and Riley and I will do our absolute best to get them answered for you. Yes, I see a question here. Looks like we're asked, what is the connection between Rewind and ShipStation? Riley, did you want to take that one?
Basically, with Rewind, through the Shopify and BigCommerce API, we don't have access to third-party apps. So we can't, for instance, back up any settings you have in your ShipStation app. But what we do back up is anything that ShipStation writes into your Shopify or BigCommerce account. So if there's any orders that are being updated with a status like shipped, all that is being backed up. Your customers are being backed up. And so that's how we like to work together. And I am seeing one question here from James. He's asked, is there a way to automate drop shipping? I need to split orders that come in based on SKU.
Yeah, so I can take that one. So if you have everything set up in ShipStation, as we mentioned with automations and everything, we can actually, drop shipping with ShipStation. We would create a user account for your dropshipper to log into your account directly. And then let's say you have a workflow that is, maybe the dropshipper fulfills 3 certain products and you fulfill others, or even if they fulfill everything. We can create an automation rule to assign orders to them based on, what that workflow might be. And then while we don't have a way to auto split orders, you can split the orders and then again have a separate automation rule to tag those orders so that not only do we have visual confirmation that specific orders might only need to be fulfilled by the dropshipper and whatever doesn't have that would be fulfilled by you. Again, that greatly depends on your dropshipping workflow. But that is how we would potentially automatically filter orders to your dropshipper depending on what manner the dropshipper is fulfilling orders for you.
So I'm seeing another question here. Does the integration between Rewind and ShipStation require embedding code? So no, there is no code, and there is no, like I mentioned, there's not a direct integration between the two of us. ShipStation is integrated with Shopify and BigCommerce, and Rewind's the same way is integrated with Shopify and BigCommerce. So there's nothing you need to embed in terms of coding. Once you install Rewind, it automatically starts working. You never really have to go in and change settings or anything like that. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and I can at least speak to, with ShipStation, it's not as like a complex process as embedding code or anything. We've built out our integrations to do that for you, especially with something like Shopify. You just plug in your Shopify domain name and it's connected and we can begin pulling orders from there. Yeah, I see a fulfillment question here by James. So James asks, so when an order comes in, if I have items A, B, and C, and item C is shipped by the dropshipper, and items A and B is shipped by James, will ShipStation tag the order? So yes, we can. We can actually, so by that workflow, ShipStation, we'd create a rule that would say if the item name and item SKU are A, B, and C, then we want to tag those orders. And so that'd be our first rule. And we'd create a second rule to play off of that tag and say, everything that has maybe this green tag, we want to automatically be assigned to our dropshipper. And at that point, what that would do for us is make it to where that dropshipper's only assigned orders that have items A and B in them. And then anything that is not have that would be for you, so anything that doesn't have a tag would be your product C that you're looking to fulfill. And then from there, you could even add a tag for your products so that, again, you have at a glance confirmation that maybe everything with a blue tag is for James to fulfill and everything with a green tag is for the dropshipper to fulfill. And you can actually get very granular with automations and say, if the item name is A and the SKU is A, and maybe we want to split shipping between regions in the US, the customization really goes on there, but that's the basis of how you would craft a rule set in ShipStation to accomplish that.
So when it comes to using Rewind to access older information, is it an automated process or something that you need to request from Rewind Tech? No, so you can do it yourself. You simply go into the Rewind app from your Shopify store or BigCommerce, and you'll see the Rewind Vault. It does work slightly differently between the two apps, but essentially the idea is the same. You select, for instance, all your blog posts or all your pages, and you click, you can see the different versions that exist. So, every time that's been updated, that will create a new version, and you hit Rewind. Or you select your entire store, and then again, you select a date and a specific time, and you rewind everything, and it should all be back to normal within a few minutes. But if you do have issues for whatever reason, we do have a customer support person, and we are a whole team here supporting you. So you can always call us and get help directly from us. But for 99% of things, you can absolutely do it yourself.